Oh, hey, Ohio. Sometimes I just have to psych myself up and hit the record button. Uh, it happens every time, actually. Not sometimes. I have to do it every time. It feels really abrupt. It's weird. I wish I had like a way to ease into an episode, I guess. Maybe if I did like a theme song, but I kind of hate that. I don't really want to do that. Anyway, how are you? I'm really sorry. I've been kind of absent lately. Hopefully you guys understand, or I mean, I don't even know if you care, honestly. But I've been honestly really struggling with my mental health and with a lot of things in life, but we're okay. Plural, we're fine. Me and me. Just kidding. Uh, there's only one me, I think. I can't ever be sure, I guess. Whoa, that's a crazy thought. I am bevied and baked, by the way. I am drinking a Coca-Cola, zero sugar. It's delicious, and I am bevied and baked in two ways, actually. So I'm baked with THC, and I'm also baked with mushrooms, and it's a super fun time. I cannot. I'm trying to like watch my spikes on my mic. Also, I'm so sorry. I'm paying attention to things so that I can be better for you. That was a really long pause. I'm sorry. We're bevied and baked here, right? But I'm also high on shrooms. So, and again, that's why this podcast is 18 plus. If you're a child, please don't listen. Or at least listen with an adult that can explain the things to you or takes the time to explain things to you in a rational way. Oh, I don't need to get into that. But anyway, bevied and baked. I'm on the shrooms and the THC. I recently found out that where I live actually decriminalized psilocybin. It's really weird. I didn't like nothing was in the news about it, and I'm supposed maybe that was for a reason, but they decriminalized it so that you can like contain it or like have it, not contain it, but is that the right word? Is that the right word? Like you're gonna answer me, but you can like possess it and you can consume it and that type of thing. It's weird to me that I didn't like know about that. But I guess I've never really delved into a lot of the shrooms either. I actually started like a couple weeks ago. I was at an event and I was having a really, really, really hard time finding THC vapes. And they're just so convenient. I love them. But I was having a really hard time. But I will tell you, my dad is so sweet, guys. Shout out to my dad. Our dad. We need to take care of him. But shout out to my dad. He drove me around to every single tobacco and vape shop because I wasn't driving at the time because I was consuming and he was also driving me. Again, shouts to my dad, y'all. But drove me to every single vape shop in the city and there was like I swear 8 of them. I think I didn't count, but there were so many of them and like so determined to help me get what I wanted. Oh man, what a wild ride that my dad now is like helping me get drugs. It's cool though. Hell yeah. Again, shouts to my dad, y'all. But so I ended up, I think, at one of the shops buying a mushroom vape because I was like talking to the dude and I was like, I've never really, no, I was talking to a lady. She was very cool. She had blue hair. I loved her. But I was talking to a lady who consumed them quite often and it helped with her mental illness. And I was like, yo, you know what's up. But also, like, take that with a grain of salt. Listen to people if you want to, but don't listen to people if you don't want to. Also, don't consume drugs if you don't want to. I want to. I like them. I probably won't forever, but I do enjoy them right now in my life. And holy crap, have you seen the world? Anyway, so I got some mushroom vape and I was like, holy shit, this kind of slaps. I like it because I like the high I get from THC, but the high from THC is way different. I think it's similar, but it's way different than the high from. Is this a drug podcast, you guys? I'm sorry. uh, but the high from mushrooms is much different to me than the high from THC. But when combined, and obviously everything that I am telling you, do not follow my advice. I'm not giving advice, but don't follow what I'm doing. Caution, caution. But if you wanted to dive in, the combination of the two has become my jam. And I'm not like doing a lot of it, and I'm not consuming, copious amounts to get like trippy. But you do get to like a level, I think, that is just like really cool. I don't know. For me, it is. It's different for everybody, obviously. But my husband also has consumed, and he has very similar experiences. And like when we've consumed a larger amount of psilocybin, specifically, it almost resembles like a drunk feeling. I don't remember what being drunk feels like, if I'm completely honest. I've been clean from alcohol for over 2 years now. Yay me. Hell yeah. Shouts in the chat to me. There's no chat. You guys don't talk to me. You should talk to me. Leave comments. I love feedback, and I love hearing from people. And for those who have commented, thank you so much. I love them. But anyway, you guys, should we get into the episode? I feel like there's more I was going to talk about, but I don't really need to just talk about my life on here either. But if you like that, that's cool. Let me know if you like me talking about just random stuff, or if you want me to just like strictly get more into the episodes quicker. I guess I've only been talking for 6 minutes, so it's not really that bad. You'll be fine. You're probably in a car, and you're probably in traffic, and fuck the guy in front of you. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm a terrible driver with that. I'm a great driver, actually. I've only been pulled over one time in my whole life, and I didn't even get a ticket, and he was just so nice. And I pulled over on the left side of the road, and he was like, for future reference, it was a fucking sheriff too. Or no, it was a state patrol, because he had like the hat. It was like, for future reference, you should probably pull over to the right side of the road because it's much safer for everybody. And I'm like, in my panic brain when I was 16, oh my God, I was just giving a coworker a ride home, and it was late, and I got pulled over by fucking state patrol in this car that had no dash lights. I had to tape flashlights from the gas station, like the little keychain flashlights. I had to tape them to my dash, turned on to see. It's just so funny when I say it out loud. I had to tape them to my dash to see the speed I was going and stuff. Yeah, what a wild time that was. But anyway, I've only ever been pulled over once, but I am like, as I'm getting older, like people are just so dumb when they're driving, and I wish that they wouldn't be. And I do get pretty vocal about it. Not with my kid in the car, but any other time. I'm very vocal about it, about how stupid everybody is. But I got it from my daddy. Should we get into the episode? Today, I'm going to talk about a whole bunch of feet. And I want to preface this by saying I have a whole bunch of respect for all of the investigators and pathologists and anthropologists that did all of the research to find the identities of the people that are part of the remains that have been washed up. So, I'm commendable for sure. I am so grateful that they're doing the work. I'm so sorry. I'm going to drink a little bit of my bevy. My bevy. Oh, man. Do you guys know when it goes down like a rock, kind of? If I burp, I'm so sorry. I'm going to try and keep it. Oh, also, you might hear gurgles from my stomach, but I'm just hungry. It's okay. I ate. I did eat today. Did you eat today? If you didn't, go eat. Eat something. Put nourishment in your body, even if you don't want to. I know sometimes it really sucks. There's a lot of times I don't feel like eating anymore, but put some nourishment in your body, even if it's in the form of like a glass of lemonade, or something that has a little bit of sugar, a little bit of something. Keep your body going, but also maybe a couple of vegetables. I don't know. Do whatever you can to keep yourself alive. Why am I giving... Sorry, I hit you. Why am I giving you life advice? But anyway, I have a lot of respect for the people that did all of the research and helped get people the information on a lot of missing persons cases, actually. Shouts to them. And I have a lot of respect for the families involved. So I do get pretty funny in my episodes, but I do want to just say I have a lot of love and a lot of grief that I felt for the people involved in all of this. So I am not diminishing, or I'm not trying to diminish the pain behind this by being goofy and silly in my episodes. And I do tend to settle a little bit as I'm going about my notes, but I just want to say that because I have nothing but love for them, and I did feel a lot of grief. I do feel a lot of things very deeply, but I felt a lot of grief for them while I was doing this research because these are people, right? They were people, and those people have people that love them a lot and still love them so much and will love them every day until they die. So try to keep that in mind as well. But we're going to talk about the Salish Sea. And it's a really great episode because I have really you know, so have fun with that. But we're going to talk about the Salish Sea. And the reason being is because I stumbled upon, again, on Reddit. Y'all get on Reddit or don't. I don't know. It's cool though. I'm just laughing at myself. But I found a post on Reddit and it was talking about a foot that was washed ashore in Vancouver from the Salish Sea. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then I, of course, was reading the post, and then I was reading into the comments, and not everyone, but I saw a few more posts or like links to articles about different feet washing up, and everyone was like, oh my God. Yeah, there's like a lot of this happening. And I was like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? Tell me more. What do you mean? What do you mean there are feet washing up in places frequently? And I mean frequently. So we're going to talk about that today. And you could probably imagine just how much my flabbers were ghasted when I was reading about this sea. But in a more specific sense, I read about that, the feet washing up. And it was disturbing enough for me to read about this one single foot, again, that washed ashore. But when I dived deeper, my eyes were opened to a very unique situation that Canadians and the citizens of Washington, the state, in the United States of America, often find themselves in. I'm so sorry. My voice is a little hoarse. Giddy up. But my eyes were opened again to this unique situation that they quite literally often found themselves in. Since 2007, at least 20 detached human feet have been found on the coasts in British Columbia, in Tacoma, and in Seattle. As recent as 2007 seems, it is believed that prior to this rush, quote unquote, of feet washing up, there have been several other instances going back more than a century when a leg in a boot was found on a Vancouver beach in 1887. But before we get into the feet, and oh my gosh, what if people have a fetish? And no, don't do that. Don't do that. It's sad. You guys, it's sad. Don't do that. But anyway, we're going to get into the feet. Let us get into the sea though. We're going to go into what that looks like. I do want, for sure, to go over a little bit of the details. So the Salish Sea is a marginal sea, and I had to look up what that meant. So it is a division of an ocean partially enclosed by islands or peninsulas, adjacent to or widely open to the open ocean at the surface, and or bound by submarine ridges on the seafloor. So if you understand that, congratulations, because I had a really hard time. It was just really funny because I took an oceanography class in college, and I passed. I did well in college. I got a good GPA, y'all. Y'all, why do I say y'all? I'm not from the South. It's just so fun. I love it. I love it. It's fun. But anyway, the Salish Sea stretches from the channels of the Discovery Islands north of the Strait of Georgia to Budd Inlet at the south end of the Puget Sound. It is a semi-separated from the open Pacific Ocean by Vancouver Island and the Olympic Peninsula, and it is sort of a fishhook shape between Canada and Washington. I don't know. Okay, that's the best way I can describe it. Is it like scoops in from stumble my words. It scoops in from the Pacific Ocean between, where Canada is up at the top and Washington is down below. So it kind of creates this like division between the two, and then it kind of comes up in a fishhook shape and then loops back around into the Pacific. So it sort of almost makes like a little island looking thing, but there's so many like channels and rivers and so many like other things that come off of it. It's really unique. You should take a look at it if you can, but we're getting back to it. So I want to talk a little bit about how the Salish Sea became known as the Salish Sea. So the first known use of the term Salish Sea was in 1988, which is surprisingly late to me. Like, how did it go that long without being named? I don't know, but it was named by a man. It was named by a man named Bert Weber. It was actually like Ebert Weber, but he went by Bert, and he is. I don't know why I'm talking about it in past tense. He is a geography and environmental social studies professor at Huxley College of the Environment at Western Washington University in Bellingham, Washington. Bert created the name for the combined waters in the region with the intention to complement the names Georgia Strait, Puget Sound, and Strait of Juan de Fuca. He didn't want to replace them. He wanted to make sure to honor the bodies of water around the sea. Bert had hoped that the adoption of the term would raise consciousness about taking care of the region's waters and ecosystems. He is credited with the official recognition of the term in Canada and in the United States. So, I also want to talk about some of the people that live around the Salish Sea and the surrounding areas there on the border of each Washington and Canada. I don't know. There's a whole map you can look at, but there's indigenous peoples who live in these areas on the coast of the Salish Sea. The Coast Salish are the indigenous peoples who live in southwest British Columbia and northwest Washington along the Salish Sea. They share a common linguistic and cultural origin. They are often seen as one of the main cultural linguistic branches of a larger group known as Salishan or Salish. 5 divisions of the Salish language family are recognized, with the Coast Salish and Interior Salish being the primary 2. The Salish family consists of 23 separate languages. Like, that's crazy to me. 23 separate languages. This type of stuff is just so fascinating to me, and I'm really so sorry if it isn't to you, but I love learning. I love learning about like the little intricacies and the people and the place, and I love just like research. I think I've said that before, but that's why I'm doing this. I just love research and I want to put it out somewhere, But learning a little bit more about the Coast Salish people, it was European and American explorers that first encountered Salish. It's so hard to say. I'm so sorry. Salishan people along the Pacific Northwest coast in the late 18th century. The first detailed information was obtained by the Lewis and Clark expedition of 1804 to 1806. The term Salish was originally applied only to the interior Salish Flathead tribe living in the region of the Flathead Lake, Montana. By the mid-20th century, it had been extended to cover all people speaking a similar language. The Flathead Nation continues to refer to their language and culture as Salish. A variant name for Flathead Lake is Salish Lake. The waterways of the Salish Sea were important trade routes and still are an important source of food and other resources for the indigenous peoples. Okay, so now you kind of have an idea, hopefully, maybe, kind of, about the Salish Sea. So let's just get right into all of the feet. Apart from the most recent quote unquote boom, there are a few notable firsts of this happening. So the first foot, well, I guess it was a leg, was found in Vancouver in 1887, and it ended up leading to the area being named Leg in a Boot Square after the unusual discovery. Then, on July 30th of 1914, the Vancouver Sun reported that recent arrivals from Kimsquit had reported finding a human leg that was encased in a high boot and was found near the mouth of the Salmon River, which is an old name for Dean River. It was thought that the remains were from a man who had drowned on the river the summer before. But since then, so since 1914, we get into the most recent, or the most, I guess the earliest in the most recent phase of feet, was in 2007. So the most recent known discovery was, I think, in 2023. We'll get into that later. But as of September of 2018, 15 feet had been identified. The latest foot was found on the shore of a beach in West Vancouver in British Columbia. That one was linked to a male, that isn't the latest one actually. There was another one. But one of the latest ones was linked to a male that had gone missing the year earlier. The feet also include a number of matched pairs, which I thought was really interesting, but also kind of not at the same time. But I find it so odd that with how the waterways work, that the chance of two of them washing up that matched is like so crazy to me. But they weren't, I don't think they were found in the same exact place. But one of them was from a woman who had jumped from a bridge, unfortunately. And then, so after a fifth foot was discovered, 20 plus something have been found now. But after the fifth one was discovered, the story began to receive increased international media attention, with major headlines from newspapers such as Melbourne Herald Sun, The Guardian, and the Cape Times in South Africa. The story elicited much speculation about the cause of the mystery, originating from quote-unquote morbid fascination with this type of subject, as stated by one scientist who identified the remains of the victims. On his late-night talk show, David Letterman actually questioned two Canadian audience members about the mystery. There have been even a few known quote-unquote copycat incidents. An apparently human foot discovered on June 18th in 2008 on Tyee Spit near Campbell River on Vancouver Island. It was a hoax, actually. The hoax was a quote-unquote skeletonized animal paw, which was put in a sock and shoe and then stuffed with dried seaweed. Royal Canadian Mounted Police launched an investigation. The British Columbia Coroner's Service said that the incident was absolutely reprehensible, and a forensic pathologist, and an anthropologist had examined the remains and said that this is a very, very senseless and thoughtless act. Clearly, it was done without any thought or feelings of the families of these missing people. And I totally agree. Like, that's messed up. You don't have to do that. You ain't gotta be like that. Don't be like that. But after the 11th foot was found on August 31st, 2011 in Vancouver, several running shoes containing what police suspected was raw meat were found washed up on Oak Beach in British Columbia. Another clear joke that was not found the least bit funny. So, should we talk about how this happens? Because I was very dumbfounded on like how does this happen and why is it happening like in this one spot? You know what I mean? Like how? So how does just a foot in a shoe end up washed on shore? And sometimes over 20 years later, actually. In Canada, British Columbia, the coroner's service said that in December of 2017, that foul play had been ruled out by authorities in all previous cases. The feet were usually found in sneakers, which the coroner thought were responsible for both keeping the feet buoyant enough to eventually wash ashore and for giving the feet enough protection from decomposition to be found relatively intact. Decomposition may separate the foot from the body, because the ankle is relatively weak, while buoyancy caused by the air either inside trapped within the shoe would allow it to just float away. The coroner's service in British Columbia also never found cut marks on any of the bones, and that suggests that the feet were severed from the bodies. According to Simon Fraser, university etymologist Gail Anderson, extremities such as the hands, feet, and the head often detach as a body decomposes in water, but rarely float. So that's why they think that the shoes are what help them float. Like, it body decomposes, foot falls off with the shoe attached, and then like the rubber or trapped air just brings it up, and poor people find it on the beach, probably on like a nice Saturday. Hopefully, it's just so awful, but it's just, yeah, I can't believe it. But oh man, I lost my spot. Okay, so however, finding feet and not the rest of the bodies has been deemed very unusual. Finding 2 feet has been guessed at 1 in a million odds, and has thus been referred to as an anomaly by one police officer who was working on the cases. The finding of the 3rd foot made it the first time a police officer interviewed knew that 3 such discoveries had been made so close to each other. So we can talk about, I think, the actual feet now. There's descriptions of them, and again, just utmost respect to the victims. I'm really sorry that it happened to them, and I'm really sorry for their families. But they did identify some victims, which is really good, I think. I hope that it gives people closure, but we can talk about the feet, and I will give you some details on each of the feet, even if you don't want them. I'm sorry, you're going to get them. You could just stop now if you don't want the details, and I can just say, hi, I love you, bye. Thank you so much for getting this far. So yeah, if you don't want to hear those details, you should just probably stop now. But here we go. All right. I will also say that if you want to, you can look it up on Wikipedia, and you can find the coordinates for where each of them were found. I'm not going to tell you the coordinates. Honestly, I don't even know if I could actually understand enough to read them to you, but yes, you can look up the coordinates if you're curious. But okay, I just needed to take a deep breath before I proceeded with this, because it's kind of tough. But foot number 1 was found on August 20th, 2007 on Jedediah Island, British Columbia. It was a girl visiting from Washington. She had picked up a size 12 Adidas shoe, opened it and the sock, and then she found a man's right foot. It is thought to have become disarticulated due to submerged decay. This kind of shoe was produced in 2003 and distributed mainly in India. A man's right foot, size 12, white and blue mesh running shoe. The remains were identified as those of a missing man suffering from depression. Foot number 2 was found August 26th, 2007 on Gabriola Island in British Columbia. And it was a man's right foot discovered by a couple, also disarticulated due to decay. It was waterlogged and appeared to have been taken ashore by an animal. It probably floated ashore from the south. The shoe, a size 12 white Reebok, was produced in 2004 and sold worldwide, but primarily in North America, and the type has since been discontinued. Foot number 3. This one was found on February 8th, 2008 on Valdez Island in British Columbia. See, a lot of them were in Canada. Oof. I don't know why that's but a lot of them were found in Vancouver or that just in Canada, British Columbia. So again, foot number 3, February 8th, 2008, Walvis Island, British Columbia. This was a right foot in a size 11 Nike. The remains were identified as a 21-year-old Surrey man reported missing 4 years prior, whose death is considered not suspicious, indicating either misadventure or suicide. This type of shoe was sold in Canada and the United States between February 1st, 2003 and June 30th, 2003. It has been confirmed that the right foot found on February 8th on Walvis Island and left foot found on June 19th on Westham Island belonged to the same man. Foot number 4. I'm so sorry. I have to take a drink of my beverage. Ugh. So good. So good, y'all. Oh, I'm so sorry. All right. Foot number 4 was found May 22nd, 2008 on Kirkland Island in British Columbia. It was a woman's right foot, blue and white New Balance sneaker. It was also wearing a sock and a sneaker. A lot of socks with sneakers, for sure. Good. I mean, that is pretty typical, I guess. It is thought to have washed down the Fraser River, having nothing to do with the ones found on Gulf Islands. Foot 5. This one was found June 19th, 2008 on Westham Island, British Columbia. This is the one, again, that matches the man that was found, or the man's foot that was found earlier. This one, it was the one that matches Walvis Island. Foot number 6 was found August 1st, 2008 near Pisht, Washington. Again, state of Washington in the United States. It was a right foot inside a man's black size 11 shoe, was discovered by a camper on the beach. It was covered in seaweed, and the site of the discovery was less than 16 kilometers from the international border in the Strait of Juan de Fuca. Testing confirmed that the foot was human. The large black top size 11 athletic shoe for a right foot contained bones and flesh. This was the first foot of the series to be found outside of British Columbia. The RCMP and the Clayam County Sheriff's Department agreed on August 5th that the foot could have been carried south from Canadian waters. On March 25th, in March 2025, 16 years after its discovery, the foot was identified as belonging to Jeff Sertel, aged 17 at the time of his disappearance, through genetic genealogy. Sertel had been missing from Mission, British Columbia since April 29th, 2007. Foot number 7, found November 11th, 2008 in Richmond, British Columbia. A known woman's left foot in a shoe that was found floating in the Fraser River in Richmond. The shoe was described as a small New Balance running shoe, possibly a woman's shoe. A forensic DNA profiling analysis indicated that it was a genetic match to the foot discovered on May 22nd on Kirkland Island. So again, another match. Foot number 8, found October 27th, 2009. This one was also in Richmond, British Columbia. It is a right foot in a white 8.5 Nike running shoe found near the Triangle Beach area of Richmond. The remains were identified as a Vancouver area man who was reported missing in January of 2008. Foot number 9 was found August 27th, 2010 on Whidbey Island, Washington. It's funny, my brother used to live there. A woman's or child's right foot without a shoe or sock. This foot was determined to have been in the water for 2 months. Detective Ed Wallace of the Island County Sheriff's Office released a statement saying that the foot would be tested for DNA. However, there was no match found in the National DNA Database. Foot number 10, found December 5th in 2010 in Tacoma, Washington. This one was found on the tidal flats. The right foot was still inside a boy's 6 Ozark Trail hiking boot and likely belonged to a juvenile or small adult. Police spokesman Mark Fulgham said They found it about 40 kilometers south of Seattle and at 225 kilometers south of Vancouver. Foot number 11. Oh my gosh, you guys, when I was typing this out, I was like, how are there so many? It just like boggles my mind. But, okay. Foot number 11. This one was found August 30th, 2011 in False Creek, British Columbia. The sex is unknown. The foot was found in a men's white and blue size 9 runner floating next to the plaza of Nations Marina, and it was attached to lower leg bones. It had disarticulated naturally at the knee due to the water. Foot number 12, found November 4th, 2011 in Sasamat Lake, British Columbia. It is a man's right foot inside of a oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Inside of a size 12 hiking boot. And this was discovered by a group of campers in a pool of fresh water at Sasamat Lake near Port Moody. In January of 2012, this foot was identified by the British Columbia Coroner's Service as that of Stefan Zarajuko, a local fisherman who had went missing in 1987. Police believe that the foot separated naturally from the body and do not suspect foul play. Foot number 13 was found December 10th, 2011 in Lake Union, Seattle, Washington. Human leg bone and foot in a plastic bag under the Ship Canal Bridge. As of January 2nd, 2012, the medical examiner had not found a cause of death or identified the body. That one was wild to me. Like, it seems very out of the norm that it was in a plastic bag. But foot number 14 was found January 26th, 2012 in Vancouver, British Columbia. On January 26th, 2012, the remains of what appears to be human bones inside of a boot were found in the sand along the water line at the dog park near Maritime Museum at the foot of Arbutus Street in Vancouver. I don't know why I had such a hard time saying Maritime Museum. Foot number 15 was found May 6th, 2014 in Seattle, Washington, and it is a human foot in white New Balance shoes found along the shoreline of Centennial Park near the Pier 86 grain terminal. The New Balance model 622 athletic shoe was white with blue trim, size men's 10.5. This model of shoe was first available for sale in 2008. From an initial news photo, it appears to be a left foot. No other information on that one, though. Foot number 16 was found February 7th, 2016 on Vancouver Island, British Columbia. Hikers on Botanical Beach near Port Renfrew on Vancouver Island found a foot in a sock and a running shoe. Again, no more information on that one either. There's so many that don't have any more info, which is really sad. But foot number 17 found February 12th, 2016 on Vancouver Island, British Columbia. This is a foot washed up near Port Renfrew on Vancouver Island. Did I already say that? Oh, no. I'm so sorry. This was another one that washed up at the same place, and it matches the one that was found 5 days earlier. So yeah, it was February 7th and February 12th, 2016 that these feet washed up. Foot number 18 found December 8th, 2017 on Vancouver Island, British Columbia. This was the remains of a leg with a shoe attached, and it washed up near the settlement of Jordan River on Vancouver Island. The remains were later identified as belonging to 79-year-old Stanley K. Okamoto of Silverdale, Washington, and they found that after DNA analysis. Why am I struggling so much? I do every time. You guys know me by now. If you've made it this, if you've listened to me, you know how much I struggle. But hopefully you don't hate it. I'm gonna take a little zoot. Also, I struggle probably because I'm bevied and baked. You know, it's part of the deal. We're here to just chill. We're here to talk. We're not here to put pressure on words. You know, I'm not. Are you? Maybe you are. That's okay. You're allowed. Yeah, it's okay. All right. So foot number 19 was found May 6th, 2018 on Gabriola Island, British Columbia. Shortly after noon on Sunday, the 6th of May, a man walking along the shore on Gabriola Island encountered a hiking boot with a human foot inside wedged in a logjam. Foot number 20, found September of 2018 in West Vancouver, British Columbia. This was a foot within a light gray Nike Free RN shoe on the shore near 30th Street the 30th Street Beach Access Point in West Vancouver. The size 9.5 shoe was manufactured between the 1st of February and the 17th of April in 2017. It was believed to have been worn by a male and had a blue sock. The victim is believed to have been under the age of 50. That's 50. Foot number 21 was found January 1st, 2019 on Jetty Island in Everett, Washington. And this foot was found in a boot later tied via DNA to Antonio Neal, missing since December 12th, 2016. Foot number 22 was found November 21st, 2021 on Locust Beach in Bellingham, Washington. This was a size 7 Brahma work boot that was found washed up on Locust Beach, just west of Bellingham city limits. Inside the boot was a tube sock containing the bones of a right foot. It was determined that these remains belonged to a male. Foot number 23. Yes, I'm still going. How sad is that? Ugh. Foot number 23, found December of 2021 in Port Angeles, Washington, was a size 8 New Balance shoe washed up on the mouth of the Elwha River. In 2021, it was determined that the foot belonged to Geraldine L. Smith, who went missing from Sequim, Washington in January of 2018 after a joint effort from Othram and Clayam County Sheriff's Office. I'm so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Clallam. It's Clallam. I'm going to have to look it up after this. Okay, but finally, foot number 24 was found July 23rd, 2023 on Gonzales Beach in Victoria, British Columbia. The British Columbia Coroner's Service is investigating, and the coroner's office has not said what type of shoe or exactly where it was found. So they did only confirm that it contained human remains. And again, it goes without saying, hopefully, but I do want to extend every sympathy to the families or loved ones that have been part of these investigations. It makes me really, really sad to think about all that remains is someone's foot, and that's like what you get of them, you know? It's just so bizarre and astonishing. I keep saying astonishing, but it is to me. And I'm really kind of curious, I think, to see if more will continue to wash up. I hope not. But at the same time, like, it is helping identify missing people. I don't know. I'm very conflicted, but hopefully, I just hope that for their families and their loved ones that their grief obviously isn't going to go away. Their love for them isn't going to go away, but I hope it just over time will ease, or they'll get bigger blips of time where they may have joy. But side note, Bones, the show Bones, did an episode based on these events, and it's called The Feet on the Beach. I have most certainly seen this episode since I've watched the series many, many times. I love that show. Oh my gosh. But I will have to go rewatch that episode, I think, now to see how much I know and like how much it's fictionalized. You know what I mean? Like, obviously it's very fictionalized, but there are a few other podcasts actually that have done episodes on this. If you heard that, that was my ankle. It was a snap. But there's a few other podcasts that have done episodes on this too. There is one by Stuff You Should Know. And then there's one by a podcast named Tanis. It's Tanis. But if you want to listen to them, go listen to them too. If you want to know somebody else's perspective on this, I would love to know too. Anywho, I think that's all I have for you guys. I love you so much. I hope you have a good day or night or month or week or I don't know, whatever period of time. I hope it's good. That's all I want. Okay.